My opponent thought on the recent political development in Nigeria, the critical role of cooperation in political power, what ADC-led coalition can learn from history. Enjoy. The recent emergence of the ADC coalition force has created mixed reactions among voters in Nigeria. Meanwhile, the coalition now is almost resulting in lack of coordination and cooperation, which is very, very unfortunate. And looking at the drama from the standpoint of history, I find ADC in a much weaker position until proper cooperation is established. Victory almost invariably goes to those who cooperated better and quicker, not only in the struggles to reach agreements and conflicts, but also in the scramble for power. If Friedrich Nietzsche was right when he said history is meaningful only as a guide for the future, not as a burden, then I will devote much of my energy providing much, of course, evidence and incidents of the crucial significance of large-scale coordination and cooperation, whether among nations, groups, or individuals from historical perspective. To read Nehru's glimpses of world history is to understand that Rome conquered Greece, not because the Romans had much better brains, muscles, or better tool-making techniques, but because they knew how to effectively cooperate more. For 10,000 years, armies marching in a disciplined and well-organized manner with proud, fragmented hordes. From Russia to Romania to Nigeria, unified elites dominated the disorderly masses. In 1917, shortly before Bolshevism triumphed, a time when the Russian upper and middle class numbered approximately 3 million people, the communists had just 23,000 members. The communists, despite this, gained control of the vast Russian empire, precisely because of the organized manner they had set themselves. In the street of Romania on 21st December 1989, the communist dictator of the country, Nicolae, organized a huge demonstration of support in the center of Bucharest. Determined to establish an army that had swept Eastern European communist regimes, with the collapse of the Soviet bloc, Nicolae mobilized 80,000 people to the audiences, and citizens all over the country had been instructed to turn in their televisions and radios. What gave one single individual with a handful of advisors the chance to control millions of people of Romania? Nicolae and his team were organized, and the 20 million of Romanians were unable to organize themselves in an effective opposition. Though huge and seemingly enthusiastic, the majority of Romanians did not know how to organize themselves. Hence, just as in Russia in 1917, power went to a small group of political players whose only powerful asset was their ability to make good organization. Some 66 years ago, Nigerians were smelling independence, and to realize this, they needed political parties to drive that fundamental shift. The party that had better organized and unified footing emerged victorious. Northern People's Congress, with a better and well-organized coalition consisting of the Obalaje Grand Alliance, Gala Union, Igbra Tribal Union, Niger Delta Congress, and affiliated independents, won 148 seats. APC did not win elections because they had better candidates alone in 2015. They won largely because of their ability to mobilize themselves and cooperate. Nor did Tinubu win the 2023 elections because more than 200 million Nigerians had read and were satisfied with his renewed pop agenda. He won largely because of disorder and the inability of the major opposition parties who were desperate to be presidents to force cooperation. In my modest take, APC-led governments are not more intelligent or nimble-fingered than the perceived major opposition parties, the ADC. APC's advantage lies in flexible cooperation, despite the current, of course, disagreements within the party. For ADC to succeed, they need to cooperate better and must be willing to display far more flexibility than their opponents. I'm Muaz Ahmad. Thank you.